What's up, guys? So I've been using Reptichip for the last 6 weeks, give or take. Before that, I was using Freedom Breeder's CocoBlox. So in today's video, I'm going to compare both of them, the pros and the cons of each, and what I've seen so far. And I'm also going to introduce you to a new competitor that just came out on the market. What's up, YouTube? It's Baker. Welcome back to Blue Line Morphs, guys. New to the channel, please subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Give me a thumbs up. Our new ball python breeding channel. Post every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. Instagram is blue_line_morphs. Facebook's Blue Line Morphs. And Parlor is Blue Line Morphs. So definitely check me out on all those platforms. Whatever. So anyway, no real update today, guys. Today's Sunday night. Making my Monday video. Really appreciate all the love and support over the last two videos, right? Blue Line Morphs, we keep getting firepower, keep buying things. We're not entirely sure what that new male is. We're going to figure that out probably next season. I weighed in his girlfriend, if you will. She's about 1,250 grams right now, just under 2 years old. So hopefully over the next 5 or 6 months, she gets up to about 1,700 grams. And hopefully he gets up to about 600 grams. We'll see what happens. See if he's het-pied. Don't know. If he proves out to be het-pied, that'd be awesome, right? It's a home run. If not, we'll create some double hets and hopefully have prove out what's actually in him. If it's spot nose, if it's red stripe, we don't know. Only issue is he does have that lesser / butter in there. So anything that's het pied that has that lesser kind of be useless, right? We don't want to create all white clown pied snakes. That'd be stupid. Anyway, other than that, great feed day today. I stopped by Sal's house, right? Gomez Pythons, his headquarters over there. He's picking up new stuff. He's doing his thing. Great feed day. He's going to be having a giveaway video of a nice little 3-tub rat rack. Definitely stay tuned for that. Definitely check that out. I'm going to try to win it. And I'm going to say it now. If I happen to win it, it wasn't set up that way. We're not in cahoots with each other. I just really want to win it. If not, I'm probably going to have him make me build one or pay him to build one or something like that. Because these things, if you saw yesterday's video, I keep flipping tubs over. Anyway. Other than that, we're doing really good. This Friday and Saturday, we're posting that video with Joe Empire State Exotics. If you like snakes, you like expensive snakes, you like rare snakes, definitely wait for that 2-part little series there. That's me talking about his collection, which is, again, probably one of the best collections I've ever seen. Thanks for the feedback on the Sulcata. She's housing things. She's doing her thing. With that being said, guys, I might move out of this room into the other bedroom in my house. This is like a small little closet bedroom, I call it. So stay tuned for that. I'm not entirely sure. I'm running out of room here. I'm bouncing off of things. Anyway, let's get right into this video. So I did a video a couple months ago comparing all the different substrates that I've used, right? I talked about how I've used aspen. I've talked about how I've used like the Reptichip bark. I've used unprinted newspaper. I've used paper towels. And then I was using the CocoBlox from Freedom Breeder. And I said CocoBlox from Freedom Breeder blew everything away, right? From humidity levels to shedding to snakes responses to everything else you can think of. I wouldn't use anything else. That being said, I did come in contact from Twisted Reptiles via Sal from Gomez Pythons. I came in contact with some Reptichip. So I've been using Reptichip over the last 6 weeks. I remember when I was breaking it down, I told you guys I would compare the two. So that's exactly what I'm going to do today. I'm also going to show you guys a new competitor, I guess you could say. They recently hit me up on Instagram and said, hey, listen, can I send you a couple of my blocks to try out? I said, absolutely. So I'm going to cut that bag open, show you that block, give them some love. I'm going to set up a couple tubs later on with that stuff. But let's get right into this. So first and foremost, it's made out of the same stuff, right? The packaging is, I'm not going to show you the front of this, because this is actually a new competitor, but the packaging is the same thing, right, guys? We know that CocoBlox and Reptichip kind of come in the same packaging, right? No change there. As far as price, relatively the same. It's a matter of who you buy it from, right? I've seen both CocoBlox and Reptichip go anywhere from $25 down to like $16, $17 a block, depending who you're buying it from, stuff like that. I know Freedom Breeder's over there in California, so maybe shipping's a little more depending on where you are, etc., etc. But pretty much the pricing's about the same. If you buy in bulk, obviously it's cheaper, right? So I'm not even going to talk about that stuff. Let's get into I got my cheat sheet, right? Let's get into CocoBlox did seem to be a little bit more money when I searched around. I just think there's less people on the East Coast that have it, right? In other words, people are coming in contact with Reptichip much more, and they're buying in bulk, so they're able to sell it cheaper. By the way, if you're on Long Island, you're in the tri-state area, I guess you say. If you need Reptichip, definitely check out Twisted Reptile. That's where I got mine from, via Gomez, via Sal. So anyway, as far as breaking it down, okay, I will say this. I told Twisted Reptiles this right away, but one thing I did notice is Reptichip was a lot more dusty, okay? If you guys remember Rob from Racer Reptile, he's a little MIA right now. He's doing well. Everyone keeps asking me. He's got a little channel that he started that he's been slacking on. Rob, get your shit together. But he made a homemade CocoBlox shaker instead of getting one from Freedom Breeder. So I use that still. He left that here for me. So definitely check out his channel if you want to learn how to make it. Anyway, breaking down the CocoBlox from Freedom Breeder, it was dusty, not that bad. I'm going to tell you why in a second when we get to the actual substrate itself. Well, at least what I think. Wasn't that bad, wasn't a lot of dust. However, then one night that I did break down 5 different blocks of the Reptichip, there was a lot more dust. It was a little more difficult to break apart. And it was just a lot more dusty. I'll tell you that right now. I was covered in dust. Wasn't that bad with the CocoBlox, and even when I shook it out as much as I could, there's still a lot more dust left in it. So I had to almost not put as much in my shaker, my homemade shaker from Rob, in order to actually get as much dust as I could out of it. And the reason why is I'm going to tell you this. When I know this little Reptichip that I have in here now, Reptichip, okay, when you look at it, you guys see that? When you look at it, it's a little more fine. The actual pieces of the cocoa isn't that big. They're a lot smaller. Now, I wish I had some Freedom Breeder left over, but I don't. But I'll tell you this right now, the Freedom Breeder CocoBlox, the actual pieces, the big pieces of the actual cocoa there were much bigger, okay? And I like that more, I'm not gonna lie. And the reason why I like that more is, one, because the pieces are actually bigger, it's not as much dust, right? You don't have little particles and stuff like that. Also, I noticed this, now every day, no, that's not true. Twice a week, I have to go through and pretty much break up the substrate in my tubs with the Reptichip. I left one undone. Hopefully he doesn't tag me. So this is my pastel male. Now if you guys look, he's a little tub aggressive. If you look, it's all kind of matted down, okay? I have to go in there and I have to break it up and kind of loosen it up, okay? This is with the Reptichip. Now look, once it's loosened up, looks good, it's good to go. Got shit all over me. But I have noticed that after a day or two, just from the snakes moving around, the Reptichip kind of gets packed down. Okay, with the CocoBlox, it happened, but it didn't happen as much as that. If I let that go for 4 or 5 days, and I don't go through them and kind of break up the substrate, it'll be completely matted down, which is a couple of issues for me. The first one is heat sources. A lot of my snakes in the back will kind of like burrow themselves in a little bit to get closer to the heat source. When it starts getting matted down like that, it makes it a little more difficult for them to actually break it up themselves and get down into the substrate, get closer to the heat panel. The other thing is holding moisture. I like to spray my tubs down and mist my tubs down. I have noticed, now I've heard this from CocoBlox, I heard this from all different types of cocoa, mixture, CocoBlox, Reptichip, and everything else. With the Reptichip, I have seen a little mold if I spray them down too much. Listen, it could be a coincidence, the fact that I have the humidifier in here now, and I'm spraying it, like right now we're holding, what, 81 degrees, 61% humidity. It could be that it's humid in here to begin with, and when I spray the tubs, they just have a high humidity. And before, when I had the CocoBlox, it was the summertime, so things are getting dried out much more quickly. So I wasn't gonna... Why? So I wasn't able to develop that much mold or moisture, got kicked out quicker because it was hotter. So I don't know. But I have found just the actual density and the actual makeup of the substrate. I do like Freedom Breeder better because it was a little bit bigger. It made breaking it apart bigger. It made it not get matted down in the tubs as much. And then also, again, with a little bit of mold, even with this girl right here, she's constantly, if you look at, perfect example, okay? She's constantly in her water bowl. And if you guys look, looks like she peed over here too. This is all matted down and kind of like nasty, okay? Now, if I let this sit, this is from her going out of the water. Now, if I let that sit, it'll start to smell. I'll start to get a little bit of gnats. And a little bit of mold will start growing. I have to go back through and break it apart. Now, I really believe that with the Freedom Breeder CocoBlox, because the actual pieces inside of it are bigger, I don't get that problem with the CocoBlox. Could it be the wintertime, summertime thing? I don't know, okay? But that's what I've seen so far. So far, I like the CocoBlox Freedom Breeder better than the Reptichip. They're very close, okay? Don't get me wrong, guys. They're very close. The biggest issue, again, with the Freedom Breeder, the biggest difference I've seen, Although Freedom Breeder might be a little more expensive for us on the East Coast, I like it more. I'm not gonna lie. I'll probably use both. Okay. Just because I like to be thorough with my examinations, so forth and so on. But the Freedom Breeder does come a little bit bigger. The actual pieces inside of it, which causes the kind of repeating myself. That's fine. Breaking apart, less dusty. Doesn't get matted down with the snakes. Doesn't cold temperature issues. And then on top of that, it doesn't retain a lot of moisture, or it actually gets a little too humid and get a little mold starts growing. That being said, that's where I am right now, stacking them up. Let me grab my. Here it is. So someone hit me up on Instagram and said, "Hey, listen, I'm starting to manufacture some Coco. Would you mind if I send you some?" So it's KC Reptiles, right? Here they are. They sent me over 2 blocks to my house. Okay. I want to cut it open now with you guys. We'll check it out. I'll tell you exactly what I think, and we'll go from there. But right now, I'll tell you right now, the density, it kind of looks like it's in between CocoBlox and Reptichip. I'm just going to break a little part here. Let's put this down. Probably should have thought this out more, guys, huh? Whatever. Okay, so looking at it right off the bat, little piece out, little dust came out. Of course, that's just going to happen with this type of stuff. But I will say this. Grab this. Well, that's like the CocoBlox. It's real big, okay? The piece is real big. When it comes to Reptichip, they're a little more smaller, okay? Which I said would cause some issues. So far, right off the bat, I'll tell you this. The KC Reptile CocoBlox looks to be in between both the CocoBlox and the Reptichip. So the pieces are much bigger than the Reptichip. Not quite as big as the Freedom Breeder pieces. But I will say this. These pieces so far look more like shavings than actual blocks like Freedom Breeder. So that could be a good thing and a bad thing. With that being said, we're going to test it out. So I'll do an update video with that. But so far, it looks like it's probably going to be a little bit better than the Reptichip, just because my only problem with Reptichip was the fact that pieces were small. These pieces are bigger. They don't look like they're chunks, though. They're more like big shavings, which I think could be a good thing. So it looks real good to me, guys. I like it. If you guys are looking for a new CocoBlox to try, definitely check out KC Reptile Labs. Looks good so far. The packaging is the same exact thing as CocoBlox and Reptichip. The block's about the same size, so I'm assuming it's going to take up the same amount of room in my tubs, or the one block is going to be, is useful 4 or 5 tubs, depending, 7 tubs, I think. But so far, the chips look nice and big. We'll see how it goes. With that being said, guys, I'll keep you guys updated with that. Thank you so much, KC Reptiles. I'm definitely going to check your stuff out now. It's going to go to my 2 Batmans, or 1.5 Batman, what the hell it is, and a couple of other snakes. I do need more Coco for my tubs. But that's the end of the video, guys. I'm going to give another updated video, complete video on that substrate I just popped open. I just wanted to show it to you guys real quick while I compare the Freedom Breeder and the Reptichip. Yeah, I think it's going to turn out good. Pieces are nice and big. We'll see what happens. Listen, as always, guys, I appreciate it. Be safe. Remember, watch your 6.